I see you're still hard at work. It is simply a sign of respect, calling you Lord. I understand calling someone Lord is uncommon where you're from. Even so, it feels like the most respectful way to address you. I would like to continue using it, if you do not object. Thank you. And please do not feel obliged to call me Your Highness. I understand that such formalities are not your custom. Truth be told, I rather enjoy hearing my own name instead. It has been a very long time since anyone has used it without a ceremony. I had almost forgotten how pleasant it could be. How's your reading? I hope you are finding the palace library intriguing at the very least, if not useful in your research. You seem quite at home among these shelves. Ah, so you spend a great deal of time in libraries back in your own world. I have often found books to be a kinder company than people. Wouldn't you agree? It is a beautiful space. I confess, I do not spend nearly enough time here. I have always preferred to be outdoors, in the gardens, compared to, well, dusty libraries. As a child, my tutors kept me among these shelves far longer than I cared for, and I suppose I have avoided it ever since. But seeing you here, so absorbed in your research, I find myself wanting to linger a while. Oh, I see. You lacked friendly company in your homeland. That is why you so often visited libraries. That saddens me to hear. You know, there is a certain look about those who find greater comfort in the solitude of somewhere like a library than in crowded halls. It is one I have seen every morning in my own reflection. I do hope that in keeping you company, that perhaps you have not felt quite so alone since coming here. How did I know you have not yet found anything useful? The furrow in your brow says it all, I'm afraid. My own efforts to find a way back to your world has been met with a little success as well. I wish there was more that I could do. You, miss... I apologize, but could you please say that again? Google. I beg your pardon, my lord. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with, whatever that is. A great tomb, you say? That is not a book at all? How very fascinating. Your world seems to possess no shortage of peculiar mysteries. I must admit, the more you tell me of it, the more curious I become. You told me once of, these carriage rides where you go up on an enormous wheel into the sky, and then return to the ground as the wheel turns. That sounds incredible. It must feel like magic. You know, we often have festivals and fairs here in Silverhaven. We may lack your world's magical wheels, but there are often jousts, tournaments, music, dancing, and all kinds of delicious food. I think you would enjoy them. As luck would have it, there's one in a few days. I was wondering if... well... if it is something you might enjoy. I would be honored if you would accompany me. Oh, maybe another time, perhaps? I see. As for your research, your notes show your efforts to be sure. There are lots of things crossed out here. It looks like you may have had a few leads. Is that right? I'm only teasing, my lord. A flattering depiction, to be sure. I'm glad to see you finding some enjoyment in your work. Perhaps it is time to take a break, my lord. Yes, I'm very serious. You have been poring over these books for hours. There was a large pile of firewood here when I left you earlier today, and now there are merely sticks left. I can send someone to fetch you more if you like, or... Very well, my lord. I think that is wise. The hour grows late. Some rest is certainly in order. If I may be so bold, your new attire suits you wonderfully. It is quite the departure from the clothes in which you first arrived. Though, if I may be honest, I think the clothes are merely fortunate to be worn by someone who carries them so well. You're impossible, my lord. No, I'm quite serious. I've spent my whole life surrounded by courtiers. I know the taste of empty compliments quite well, and this is certainly not that. I have looked at you often enough to know when something suits you. Yes, you have mentioned someone to mend your... What was it? Sweatshirt? What an odd name for a garment. Yes, I believe I have apologized on my guard's behalf for tearing it no fewer than 12 times since our first encounter. Can you ever forgive me? I truly feel terrible. You must admit, though, finding a strange man in strange attire on the palace grounds, I was bound to be suspicious. And in Silverhaven, when no one grows suspicious, swords do have an unfortunate habit of becoming involved. I do not blame my guard for approaching the situation with caution. She has saved my life on many occasions. Thankfully, it was only a little poke. Nothing serious. Your, sweatshirt, was it? It is perfectly wearable, especially with a little mending. I know it reminds you of home. I can have one of the maids darn it tonight, so that you might wear it tomorrow. It would be no trouble to work on them tonight, I assure you. Your kindness will be remembered by the staff for quite some time, I think. As you wish. If you would rather they mend it during the daylight hours, I shall see to it that is done. Your garment looks wonderfully warm. I only hope it will keep you comfortable against the evening chill. The place library has always been colder than anyone expects in the dark. Oh, so you have noticed that as well. My lord, your arms are covered in goose flesh. Are you quite certain you do not require another log for the fire? Or maybe perhaps a blanket or... Forgive me, lord. I suppose I'm fretting. I only wish to know you are well, that is all. You really must tell me if you're cold. Castles have an unfortunate habit of appearing grand while being dreadfully drafty. My lord, may I speak freely? I do not know how you came to Silverhaven, or why fate chose to bring you here. Since your arrival, you have devoted nearly every waking hour to finding a way back to your own world. Whatever that may be, I cannot fault you for your persistence. If I was in your position, I would be just as desperate to find my way home. Even so, I cannot help but feel a little saddened at the thought of you leaving my kingdom, having known so little of it. You have been with us for weeks now, yet you scarcely ventured beyond these library walls. It pains me to see you cooped up here day after day. I fear you are neglecting yourself. My lord, I hope you will forgive me for asking, but have you eaten today? As I suspected. A maid left some dinner here, but it looks untouched. As you say, my lord. Regardless, I am concerned for you. For your health. You cannot sacrifice your own well-being in pursuit of this goal. I know you wish to return home. If I had the power to open a path back to it with a word, I would. If I could simply snap my fingers and grant you a wish, I would do so without hesitation. But some wishes, even for a princess, are not so easily granted. What I can offer is the opportunity to experience Silverhaven. The festival that I mentioned, I thought it might be a pleasant way for you to experience my country, my kingdom. At the very least, it would grant you a reprieve from your research and the burdens weighing on your mind. More than that, I believe it would do you good to spend some time beyond these walls, to see people, to speak with them, to simply live for an evening instead of searching for an answer. And it is selfish of me, but I confess, I would very much enjoy your company. I would be happy to escort you myself, should you wish to go. In truth, you would be doing me a kindness. Negotiations surrounding the new treaty with Gravenhold and the endless accompanying meetings have occupied nearly every waking hour of mine lately. I find myself rather desperate for a few hours in which I can simply be. An evening in which no one expects me to solve the kingdom's problems. We are alike in this way, you and I. From the way you speak, it sounds as though much is asked of you back in your homeland. While these responsibilities can be an honor and a privilege, they can also be lonely. Surely we might be allowed a few hours to set these burdens aside. The world will continue turning without us for a single evening, don't you think? I know you felt alone in your homeland, even when surrounded by familiar places and familiar faces. Loneliness can be deafening. The burdens you carry, I do not pretend to understand them completely. However, I understand why you would wish so desperately to return to them. Your sense of duty, your desire to help those who depend on you, it mirrors my own. If you truly wish to return home, if that is truly your heart's desire, then I give you my word. I will do everything within my power to help you find your way back. But I would ask that while you are here, you allow yourself to truly see this world. See Silverhaven. See the people who have come to care for you. To see that... Forgive me, Lord. I nearly said more than I ought to have. What I mean to say is, do you think it is possible that this world could become something more than just a place where you were stranded? Could it become a place where you're welcomed? Where you feel belonging? We may never find a way home for you. I pray that we do, but I cannot promise what I cannot guarantee. Either way, I hope you know that you're not without a place here. If you must remain here, I would only wish that, perhaps someday, that you could find comfort here. I hope that this world can offer you what your own world did not. Somewhere you feel valued, somewhere that you are wanted, a home. Just please think about what I have said. That is all I ask. And please consider my invitation. No decisions need to be made tonight, of course, but I truly hope you will consider it. I would very much enjoy your company. So you will consider it? Good. Well, I look forward to it. To hearing your answer, Do not stay awake too far into the night. I know the answers you seek are important, but so are you. Sleep well, my lord. Good night.